Hello, this is Palagi. Thank you for tuning into my channel, and today I'm going to do a video. As a matter of fact, I think I will entitle it Winterizing Your EDC. So, as the title implies, it's just going to be some suggestions and tips for winterizing your EDC. So, depending on where you live, the cold weather can affect your carry gear, and for that reason, this is the time of the year that I normally revolve my consumables within my gear. Now, if you don't live somewhere like in the colder region where it doesn't get real cold, it might not apply to you so much. However, you might want to stick around. It might be entertaining, maybe not, who knows. So anyway, let's go ahead and start with firearms. Now, I usually revolve my carry ammo through my carry guns once, maybe twice a year for a couple different reasons, okay? The first reason is going to be bullet setback, okay? Now, I have discussed this in one of my other videos, and essentially what that means is if you are a fan of chambering and unchambering around, like, you know, every time you pick up your gun or put it up for the night or whatever, what can happen is the bullet can start receding down into the casing until it is no longer a projectile. It might get forced so far down there that it essentially acts like a bomb, okay? So it can blow your entire gun up, and what's worse, it can hurt you. So obviously, that's not something you want. So I usually go to the range, fire through all my carry ammo, make sure my guns are, are still liking them, everything's going good there, and then put some new stuff in, okay? Also, it's a good idea to run your carry ammo through it anyway. But also, it is, it is a season where people, they start layering up, and for that reason, penetration becomes a factor if, God forbid, you ever had to, to use your gun in that way. So, this time of year, I usually go like a heavy for caliber. So, for instance, in 9mm, I'm going to go with like a 147 grain. A 40 cal, I'll go with like a 180 grain. I'm digging on the gold dots, okay? So 45, I'll go with like a 230 grain. And I do prefer bonded hollow points, okay? Now, like I was saying, I prefer either gold dot or like a Federal HST, which I don't believe is bonded, but it holds its form remarkably similar to one. Now, the reason I prefer bonded bullets is because they, like I say, they're going to hold their shapes and they remain true through like barriers and stuff like that. So you don't want the jacket separation. That's what we're trying to get rid of. They hold their form nice, and you want uniform expansion and no jacket separation, and that's what a bonded bullet's going to do for you. Okay. Now we can go on and on about ballistics and all of that, but what I'm going to say is when you go heavy for caliber, you're going to get better penetration out of it, but it's going to come at the cost of energy, okay? Now, honestly, penetration is key, especially in these months, all right? Now, when we're dealing with ballistics gel, the FBI standard is like 12 inches. Now, that's through gel. You have to keep in mind that you have bone, you have skin, and all that. As a matter of fact, I think they say that one layer of skin is like 4 inches of gel or something. Okay, so if you got arms and all kinds of stuff in the way, you can see where penetration is going to become a factor more so than energy. Okay, that's all I'm going to say on the subject. Maybe we'll make another video later on down the line, okay? So let's go ahead and talk about lubricant really quick, okay? Now, if you're using something extremely viscous, like, like lithium grease or something like that, you might consider going with like a lighter lubricant. Now, there's tons of different lubricants out there. I mean, Rem oil, frog lube, all kinds of stuff, and I'm sure all of them are fine, okay? Now, what I prefer is this M Pro 7, okay? I've been digging on this for a couple years. It works really well. It doesn't like sludge up. I don't notice, dust like attract. I mean, I guess any oil does to a certain degree. It's also good to go in like minus 85 degree weather. It's just, I found it works really well for me. That's just me. Use whatever you want. I would just stay away from some of the super viscous stuff, okay? Although I will say that if you carry inside the waistband, the residual heat is normally enough to keep everything running smoothly. But it is something to consider because the cold weather just has a nasty way of turning the most reliable handguns into a semi-reliable handgun, okay? Now let's talk flashlights a minute, okay? If you've ever used flashlights in the winter with just straight up alkaline batteries, you probably notice that your burn time is dramatically reduced, okay? And there's a reason for that. Alkaline and cold weather do not mix real well, okay? So it's this reason that it's a good idea to run lithium batteries in your flashlights or any electronics for that matter, okay? They're just going to do a lot better in the cold for you, and they're going to last a lot longer anyway. So, you know, they are a bit more expensive, but they have the potential to save you a lot of heartache when you need them the most. So, it's a good idea also to stick with reputable brands like Energizer, Duracell, you know, those sort of brands. Now, I assure you, this is one instance that name brand really does matter, okay? So, that is enough on batteries. Let's talk about the beloved chapstick, okay? Have you ever heard of chapstick? Okay, it might sound funny to some, however, the uses for it are absolutely endless. In fact, I could probably do an entire video for the many uses of chapstick alone. So, obviously, it's great for chapped lips. That's obviously prevalent this time of year, but it also works great if your skin tends to crack in the winter from being dry. It even works well in stopping bleeding, like if you have small cuts or whatever, you know, you can put like a bunch of it on there and it kind of seals small cuts. Obviously it doesn't work for major bleeding, but I've found myself using it in a pinch for a lot of different things. So it is kind of like a wax base too. So for that reason, it's going to work for like Firecraft too. Now it's not actually an accelerant. I put a little bit on this side here. So we'll go ahead and light that up and then light this up. Okay, so you can see the difference in how it burns, okay? I'm going to go ahead and blow that out before I burn my house down. But anyway, so lots of different uses for it, okay? It's really fantastic. Lubrication, like you can lubricate a squeaky door with it, like door hinges. You can keep carbon knives rust-free. It could even be used on like a super dry firearm in a pinch, okay? I could go on, but I assure you that there is a lot of utility in something that can fit into your watch pocket, okay? Not a bad idea to carry this stuff, okay? So let's talk about hand sanitizer a minute, okay? Now, I always have a small bottle of this in my EDC bag. Now, this stuff is just like, I don't know, I think it's like dollar store stuff or something, okay? But anyway, it's good to have for multiple reasons. Not only does it prevent spreading of germs during the season we may need it the most, but it can also be used, obviously, as a fire accelerant. And it might even come in handy if you come across a frozen lock. Alcohol is pretty good with ice. If that doesn't work, you could even put a little bit on your key, light that up, even heat your key up. You can get creative with it. Actually, maybe I shouldn't be telling you what to do. But use your imagination, okay? There are endless possibilities, once again, with hand sanitizer. Another thing, consider carrying a bandana, okay? Another simple tool I could probably do an entire video on, from wiping fog off a window to turning it into like a makeshift face mask, or simply just keeping your nose clean. There's just clearly many uses for it, especially during the winter season, okay? Let's talk anti-fog a minute, okay? So whether you're dealing with like your glasses, you know, prescription sunglasses, goggles, hunting optics, you run an optic on your carry gun, car windows, anything like that, we've all undoubtedly experienced foggy glass. So what you can do is take a very small amount of shaving cream and just dab it onto the glass, rub it in, and spread it as thin as you possibly can, okay? And then you're going to want to buff it off with, the rest of it off, I should say, with a clean, like, microfiber towel. And you're going to be in business, okay? You can use any sort of towel, I suppose. I just use microfiber towels. But anyway, I suppose the results will probably vary a tiny bit depending on what type of shaving cream you use and maybe the way you apply it. But I know for a fact that the shave gel by Edge, it works flawlessly. In fact, I've already done this to my Vortex Venom. I do it on my bathroom mirrors. It works awesome. So anyway, you guys, that is just a few tips and tricks, okay? A lot of these I'm sure are known. I never know, honestly. A lot of these videos are designed for people, you know, who are kind of new to the game. But anyway, I hope you guys learned something. If not, at least I hope you were entertained. But anyway, if you guys, as always, have any questions, feel free to leave your mark in the comment section. Until next time, this is Chase Palagi, signing off.